evening. You're listening to bite-sized book reviews, and I've just finished reading The Penny Pinchers by Sarah Strohmeyer. So the main character, Kat, lives in New Jersey, and kind of like the main characters for the Shopaholic series and one of the ones from the Shoe Addicts books, one of her major hobbies is shopping, like her favorite pastime and the way she deals with everything like stress to when she needs to, fill up her free time is to buy lots and lots of stuff. So this has been kind of like a way of life for her ever since she was little, but things change when she starts to suspect that her husband might be planning to leave her. Like, this causes a great deal of turmoil in her life, like not only because she still really loves her husband and doesn't want him to leave her, but also because she is, for the most part, financially dependent on him. Not to mention, like, she suspects deep down that maybe her spending habits might contribute to him wanting to leave her because he is a university professor and doesn't actually make like a great deal of money. So she's worried that all the debts and stuff that she's racked up may actually contribute to damaging their relationship. So she resolves to start to save money, like primarily though because she discovers that getting a divorce would actually cost a great deal. Problem is, she has never had to save money before, and she actually has very little concept of money in the first place because it's not something she ever paid attention to. Like, she doesn't really know how much things cost. She's not aware of how much she actually spends, what exactly she spends all that money on, or even the fact that, how much in the way of things like credit card debt she has actually racked up in the past couple of months. But as she she makes this resolve, like no one in her life who knows her believes she can even do it, but she decides that she is going to. And as a part of this first step, I guess, since she discovers that maybe it's really hard to do on her own, is that she decides to join this help group that her housekeeper keeps inviting her to, called the Penny Pinchers. So it turns out that the Penny Pinchers is a group of kind of eccentric people, like from pretty varied backgrounds, who all, for one reason or another, deal with things like major debts, or something that causes them to have to make this major change in their life and to try to actually be frugal and to not waste money on things that they really can't afford. And with their help, Kat starts to sort through the different things in her life to see where she can cut costs and how to change her living habits and lifestyle so that she can become more financially self-sufficient and possibly to pay down her debt and be able to contribute more, I guess, instead of just spending a lot of the money that her family has. And through learning about this different way of life, she also kind of discovers that cutting out this major consumerist part of her daily habits and so on might actually also create room for bettering her relationships and possibly even saving her marriage. Like, that's what one thing that she kind of secretly, or maybe not so secret, but deep down is pretty obvious, I think, that she is hoping for, because she can see improvements in their relationship now that she's actually trying to take care of monetary things instead of just being someone who spends a lot without keeping an eye on it. Things are a bit complicated, not only because of her potentially rocky relationship and her potential upcoming divorce, but also because her ex is kind of back in her life. So main character Kat works as the assistant to an interior designer, and she's also starting to try to strike out on her own, because hopefully that will also help her make more money, and because her boss is not really a very good boss. But a major decision in her life in the past was choosing not to marry her ex when he proposed to her, even though that if she had married him, she would probably never have had to worry about money at all, since he's a really, really rich man. But anyways, his presence kind of complicates things a little bit and has her revisiting some of the choices she made. So, I thought it was really interesting to see how Kat goes from being someone who's very vigorously into like the consumer culture and stuff and become someone who is frugal and sees like a lot of the values that it helps her build. Like I do sometimes feel like people spend way too much time with things like technology and honestly, like we buy a lot of things that we really don't need, and I feel like, commercials and stuff, they are designed to try to make you think you need or want things that you don't really actually need. And it was kind of interesting to see the different ways that she goes about starting to save money. I think it makes me stop and think a little bit about the kind of things that I spend money on in my life. So yeah, I think it was definitely interesting to see some of those changes and the kind of difference that it can make. So something I did not like. Even though I did find a lot of this book pretty funny, it had a lot of more awkward moments. Like I think the tension with like the ex coming back into her life and so on, and the potential misunderstandings between the different characters, because I feel like a lot of the conflicts in the book arise from people not communicating well enough and not spending enough time trying to actually understand each other. Like it created awkward / embarrassing moments that I tend to feel overly like I experience vicarious embarrassment very easily, and I think it created scenes that I skip scan over because it was too awkward for me.